I don't find Merlot to be that exciting most of the time. However, every once in a while, one grabs me and says, hey, look at me. And today, we're going to go ahead and discuss, out of Walla Walla, Washington, 2014 Erratic Merlot from Dillon Cellars. Stay tuned. Hey, you've tuned into the Rookie Wine and Whiskey Enthusiast, YouTube's primary channel for discussing Washington wines and whiskeys, and sometimes spirits, but not exclusively. And, you know, let's go ahead and get that whole YouTube thing done out of the way. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button right now. Also hit the bell icon when you hit the subscribe. That way when I do videos like this, you'll be notified when I go ahead and upload these videos. Now, as I said in my intro, Merlots are just kind of one of those wines. I don't dislike them like some people do based on that stupid movie. But for me, Merlots can be really hit and miss. You can either be really bad or you can be really good. And a couple years ago, up in the Walla Walla area, there's this little area called incubator units where Walla Walla has set up new winemakers and people that want to go ahead and do new wines. Well, my favorite winery, one of my wife's and our favorite winery, Victor Palencia, he moved out, and in his place, in that same exact incubator unit, a gentleman named Mark Dillon Leahy moved in. Now, I met him a couple years ago, and my wife and I, he has some really interesting wines, and he's really old school. This is a young man who's worked in 9 different winemaking regions, 4 different countries. We're talking France, Spain, Portugal. He's worked in Washington State. He's worked in California down the Napa Valley. He has got a lot of experience for such a young man. And what he's done is, this is his own, he's finally really got his own label. He likes to do things old school. He likes to blend a lot of old world into the new. And when it came to this particular Merlot, it really went ahead and grabbed me. Now, I haven't had a bottle of this for about 4 months. Picked up a couple bottles in November. So it's been sitting in my cellar. But this particular, I'm going to go ahead and just read off the back here. Now this is from 100% Merlot from the Clipson Vineyards out of the Red Mountain area, which is, as I've said before in other videos, Red Mountain really is one of the highest, one of the best producing AVAs in the state of Washington. Also one of the most expensive. But I'll go ahead and just read off the label here. We timed the harvest to keep flavors fresh and bright. After a 6-day ambient soak, we initially foot crushed, followed by punch downs. Whole berry fermented with 100% native yeast and malolactic. Pressed into 33% new French oak barrels and aged for 28 months on fine lees. I mean, he gets into some detail on this particular wine. And like I said, it really has grabbed me. And I mean, already starting off this year, we've had some really great wines. This one here really doesn't disappoint. The color on this is a deep purple. It is not translucent at all. I mean, very little light except for around the edges. And when you tilt your glass up here, not only is it purple, but the edges are almost purple. It does have a slight ruby tint to it. The nose on this, plum. We're talking dark plums, dark red currant, a red currant type of note. Blueberry on the note. It also has a kind of a creamy nose to it. It's kind of hard if you were to, if you've ever been around cheese, and that might be the bacteria that you get around cheese, where you get that heavy cream style note that's in the air. It also has an earthy note to it, almost like potting soil. And then there's a toffee note on the nose. Let's go ahead and take a sip, shall we? This is a full-bodied, tannic Merlot. The taste on it, I mean, it is ripe plums. If you ever, I've got a plum tree my neighbor has in the yard next door, and he's got plums on there. And when they get to that point where they're just about ready to fall off because they're overripe, that's what I'm getting here. That blueberry comes through. It's almost like a blueberry jam. The red currant comes through. Now, a little bit though, I'm getting an herbal note though on the flavor, which I didn't get on the nose, which is not really that uncommon. This is more of a rosemary type of note, almost a, not sage, maybe a slight oregano note to it. I'm also getting that potting soil on the nose that I got. Yeah, it's turning into a wet earth note. I'm also getting a little bit of leather. That I think that creaminess has kind of turned into a book leather note. The finish on this, by the way, oh my goodness. It just goes down, is just, I gotta focus. I like I said, it takes a lot to get me excited about Merlot. This Merlot really does get me excited. The toffee note that I got before, I think the 28 months aging in the barrels, I'm getting more of a vanilla / toffee note in it. Yeah, I mean, and it's right there. It's everything flows perfectly with this particular wine. You know, Merlots get a lot of hate, and I think, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are just producing Merlots to produce a Merlot. And that's why you see a lot of Merlots at under $10 a bottle that are just garbage. Now this bottle is not a $10 bottle. Don't get me wrong. I paid $45 a bottle for this particular bottle. And for me to pay that much money for a Merlot, it has to be good. And this wine does not disappoint. Like I said, this is a full-bodied, medium plus bodied, probably medium plus 2 full-bodied. The tannins, the tannic structure on this, again, medium plus to full. The acidity though, there's some acidity in it. This is more of a medium acidic bodied wine. I'd like to see a little bit more complexity when it comes to the acidity on this. Sweetness, this is a dry wine. This is not super dry. This is not an off dry. This really is a dry wine, but it's savory. I mean, it makes my mouth is watering drinking this. Alcohol in this, it is at 13.9%. It does not drink like a 13.9%. Boy, I'm going to put a link down below if you guys are interested. This is a winemaker to watch. I got excited about this particular winemaker as much as I got excited about Victor Palencia, and I really do mean that. This is a guy who is taking some old world. You go into his winery, and he has concrete aging vessels that he has in there, these big concrete eggs that he ages wine in. And it really does harken back to some of the old school stuff that you want to see. Matter of fact, I believe when I did talk to him back in November, he might have actually been considering doing some clay pots. I can't remember exactly part of that. I may be wrong. I may be mixing that up with somebody else. What am I going to give this for a score? You know, I initially thought I was going to give it a 90, but you know what? This really deserves a 91 or a 92 for a Merlot. Oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever given a Merlot that high a score. I'm going to give this a solid 92. This is a must buy. If you have the budget for this particular wine, buy it. It really is a wonderful Merlot. This is what Merlots can be. This is what Merlots can aspire to be. And I have no hesitation sharing this particular Merlot with a whole lot of people out there that can appreciate a Merlot. For people that can't appreciate a Merlot, don't even bother buying this. You're not going to appreciate it as much. Start with some of your $10 to $20 Merlots. Learn those, because this Merlot it can be overwhelming for somebody new. So that being said, have you had Dillon Cellars Merlot before in the past? If you have, put them down, your comments down below. Is there a Merlot that you think, based on my tasting notes, on what I've given here, that maybe, just maybe, there's a Merlot out there, whether it's from California, or maybe Europe, or South America, or Australia, that I might be interested in, that has maybe this similar style tasting notes? Please put the comments down below. And make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you did like this video. It helps with all of YouTube's algorithms things. So anyways, listen, as always, please drink responsibly, and life is too short for either bad wine or bad whiskey. My God, I wish more Merlots were this good, or at least even attempted to be this good. As always, cheers everybody. Enjoy the Merlot, especially this one. Complex, very complex.